All right, guys, back with another video. So I got an interesting video here from Pierre Polyev. It's called "Let Trades Workers Write Off Their Travel for Work," which is interesting because honestly, I thought that tradesmen and women had their travel for work covered, but I guess not. So let's have a look here, and then we'll talk about it after, like usual.
Imagine you're a pipe fitter who has to travel from Timmins to Fort Mac, or an oil worker who has to travel from Nova Scotia to offshore fields in Newfoundland. These are the people who build our country, and there are whole communities of them. I've met these workers as I've crossed the country over the last several years, whether they're flying up to Northern Ontario to work in logging operations or mines, or traveling to the British Columbia interior from Alberta to build the liquefaction facilities there. And to do their jobs, they have to travel often 20 times a year. And yet the Carney-Trudeau Liberals only allow them to write off $4,000 worth of travel expenses. But you know who doesn't have any limits on what they can write off? Corporate CEOs. CEOs are able to write off their private jets to fly all over the place, even when it would be just as easy to take a commercial flight. Oftentimes, corporations write off these private jets for their CEOs and other executives to benefit from the luxury of global travel, all while their workers make too little money and their consumers pay far too high prices. This is an abuse of our tax system. That's why I'm announcing today that Common Sense Conservatives will stop corporations from writing off private jets used for luxury executive travel. We will only allow corporations to write off the equivalent of a commercial airline flight. And we will pass the Tax Fairness for Traveling Trades Workers Act, allowing our trade workers to write off the full cost of their food, transportation, and accommodation for any job-related trips that go more than 120 kilometers, regardless of whether they require lodgings. We also ensure that charter flights to remote locations with no commercial flight options will be exempt from my law, so that no tradespeople are impacted when they travel to remote areas for work. Trades workers deserve the same tax rules as CEOs when they travel to get the job done. My Common Sense Conservative government will restore Canada's promise that anyone from anywhere can achieve anything, that hard work leads to a great life in a beautiful home, on a safe street, protected by brave soldiers under a proud flag. That's what it means to put Canada first. Now let's bring it home.
So, yeah, I mean, the first thing I want to say about that is, I think that's a great idea. I didn't know that there was a cap, $4,000 a year, that's it. But meanwhile, CEOs can fly around on a private jet. Go figure, because the Liberal are the party of the rich. Pierre Polyev, and this is interesting too, because politicians, generally speaking, are bought and paid for. So that's why you never see any policies that hurt the rich people. And even if they do come out with something that seems like it hurts them financially, there's always a loophole for them to get around it. That's why the rich always get richer, and the poor get poorer, and the middle class gets poorer now too. So for Pierre Polyev to go after the corporations a little bit there by saying, hey, listen, you can't write off these jets anymore. Commercial flights, fine, but not private jets. So that's a good policy. And Pierre Polyev, I'm sure you guys have seen in his rallies, it seems like he's these policies, these tax cuts, or stopping corporations from abusing our tax system, like Pierre Polyev said, these ideas are getting very popular, and you can see it by how many people are showing up to his rallies. He's holding another one. I don't know if it's over yet, but he held another one in Winnipeg today, and again got a huge crowd. I don't know how many people, but there was 5,500 people the other day. I believe that's a record. So these ideas seem like they're very, very popular. And if you have common sense, they would be popular. Does he stick to it? That's the real issue, right? Because again, I'm sure like a lot of you have a hard time trusting politicians, but we're going to give Pierre a chance because he's saying things that are different. He's saying, hey, look, we need a change because the system's broken after 10 years. The country's broken after 10 years. And he's right. Even if you don't like Pierre or don't believe Pierre, okay, fine, but you still but you should still support him, because voting in a Liberal for a fourth term makes zero sense, and we all know this. So hopefully Pierre Polyev continues to have these great rallies. Hopefully he continues to put out these great ads. I mean, they're really going hard at it right now, as they should, of course. It's election season, and it's a very short campaign season, so yeah, I think Pierre's doing well. The polls and Polymarket disagree. Somehow, Mark Carney keeps gaining his lead. 70% now. Interesting. I'm actually thinking about maybe placing a bet here, because 30%, I would, you're getting just over 3-1 on your money there. That's pretty good. So, but again, you're seeing kind of go back and forth, but Carney has a very wide lead right now, apparently. I don't know why his voters aren't enthused to show up at his rallies like Pierre's are, but okay. I guess we'll see. And again, I do think things are going to change after the debate. Those debates are not going to go well for Mark Carney, especially the French one. And he could drop a lot of support in Quebec. And then, of course, the English debate, again, I think he's going to get crushed. But we'll see. Maybe he surprises me. Who knows? But either way, we are under a month away from the next election. It's going to be a wild one, guys, but let's see where it goes. Also, I was thinking about making a video. I don't know if you guys know who Patrick Bet-David on, but about a week ago or so, he had Maxime Bernier on his podcast talking about the Liberals, and he made some very good points, but then he also attacked Pierre Poilievre and made some stupid claims. If you guys want me to make a video about that, drop it in the comment section. I've been thinking about it for the last week, but talking about Maxime Bernier, I don't know if it's even a relevant thing to talk to, because he's Mr. Irrelevant himself. But let me know what you guys think. And if I get enough response, I'll make those videos for you. But either way, let me know what you think about this video as well. Please do not be shy. Please also don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps grow the channel. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll be back shortly with a new video.